Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and this is a first look and preview of the GA-8 Airvan by the same developer who brought us the amazing Kodiak and Pilatus PC-12. But is this a step backwards from the previous releases? And what's so special about this quirky, awkward-looking flying refrigerator? Alright, we're in the flight deck of the GA-8 Airvan, but we're actually going to go outside first and show you guys some of the exterior features. And I'm actually learning a lot more about this plane that I think is going to be really interesting to you and have already shown to be very interesting to me. And I'll kind of show you guys some of that stuff as we go throughout today's very short flight here in the Greece Islands. So I'm going to go ahead and get our engine covers off. Now, I am in Microsoft 2020 right now. Ew, I know. But the reason is because I'm using a preview build, and you know we have preview build problems, and some of the features I'm going to show you are not available in the preview build of this plane. But when you guys get this on 2024, you will have pretty much all the same features that we have here in 2020, mainly the failure stuff. So as you can see, I'm in like a it's not walk around mode. I'm just kind of hovering my camera around right now, and I'm able to kind of do the walk around mode stuff inside of 2020. So if you're not in 2024, don't worry, you can still kind of do your walk around stuff because there's no like boundary to keep you from moving your camera outside of the aircraft. So anyways, I got the door open. We got the flag off the PEAT over there. We got our engine cover turned off. One of the cool things you can do here is you can check your oil. You can click on that, and that'll open up your oil. Now the oil does deprecate over time. Now again, there is two different packs. You have the basic pack of the GA-8 Airvan, and then you also have the SimPulse edition as well that you can get. And the SimPulse edition is what is really what's special about this plane. And honestly, I'm gonna start off right now and just say I don't think it's worth it without the SimPulse. I think if you're gonna get this plane, you need to get the SimPulse as well. So we got the chocks we can remove. We can also replace the chocks too, should we want to. So we'll take the chocks off, both on the left tire and the right tire. And we can also go down here in the cargo pod and click here on the pod. That'll open up the door to the pod, and all these doors open. So I can click down here, and you can see that. So we got some baggage down there. Matter of fact, check this out. See those chocks right here? So if I put my chocks back on by clicking there, and we'll do the chocks on the other side too, by crawling underneath the plane, and notice how now the chocks are actually removed from the car. So like this is actually dynamic, which is pretty cool. Another thing is like, what is that, right? That is something new I've never seen before. But right here is our external power doors. We'll open that up, and we click right here. That's going to place our portable external power unit, which is pretty cool. I guess it's just powerful enough to kind of power up the avionics wherever you are. And as you can see, that is now gone as well. So that is pretty darn cool. And then we can go around here to the back. And there's also a third door back here that we can open up. And that door also opens. So again, pretty cool. Now, I think that the stuff in here depends on the weight that you've loaded in your aircraft. But that's pretty sweet. So we can continue looking around. The 3D model looks good, in my opinion. You know, it might look something like a caravan and a bus had a baby. But it's functional. It's utility. It's all utility. It's all function and no beauty, basically. But I think it's pretty accurate to what it actually looks like in real life. So, you know, can't hate them for that. Now, the propeller here, which is pretty much pristine and new, part of the system pulse failure system is that over time, your propeller can also wear out. It can get bad. And if you break your propeller, like in a crash, it looks something like this. Pretty cool, huh? All folded up. And again, the failures in the system pulse add-on that you can get for this aircraft is really the heart of this aircraft. It really is a living, breathing machine. It has the feeling of like the Comanche vibe a little bit. You know what I mean? Down here, we can also check the fuel tank. Make sure there's no water in the tank, which is pretty cool. Remove that. That's nice. So again, this has really nice features here. As we continue and finish up our walk around, I'll show you guys how the cargo loading is done. Now, I don't think you can click and actually attach a tie down, which would be really nice if you could. Another really cool idea that I had was that, I don't know why I think of these weird ideas, but you see this little like inner tube here where you can actually like, you know, add air to the tire, it'd be cool if I could click on that and actually add or remove air from the tire. But you know, I guess I could dream. I don't think anybody else wants that but me. Anyway, so let's go ahead and close the doors up, and we'll actually get the actual cargo, internal cargo, loaded up here. But I think it's pretty cool. All these doors open, and we don't really necessarily need the ground power either, so we'll get rid of that. And then we're just gonna move our camera straight to the inside here. And then what we can do is go to the back and open up our cargo door. Wait, I think now it's open. There it is. Now it's open. It's loud, open. Very nice sounds on here. And this leads me to the EFB, or the little tablet here. And it's pretty simple. Tablet, you just have 3 options. You have fuel and payload, flight bag, and settings. So I'll go to my fuel and payload. You can see here we can actually set our fuel. I have 9 gallons in each tank. That should be enough, I think, for our very short trip. But I'm going to take a little bit more. Let's go for 25%. We'll do that. 10 gallons, 1 extra gallon. Okay. We'll go to payload. And you can see here we have our payload screen. And it's pretty simple the way this works. We have our pilot seat. And then we have our passenger seat. And if it's clicking on it, if it's green, that means that, you know, a person's sitting there. If it's not, then it's not. And what I'll do is I'll take some fuel cans and some boxes. So I click on the fuel can, click on it again. I'm now going to be able to stack those fuel cans. And then I'm going to go down here and select a spot to place them. So we'll put them here. Why not? There we go. So now we have 2 fuel cans. And we won't see those until we hit apply. So let's go ahead and also take a generator. And I should be able to place that there. Yep, 1 generator. Can't stack that. And we'll take some boxes. So we'll click on boxes. I'll click on it 4 times. That'll give us a stack of 4 boxes there in the back. And if we hit apply, boom. Now you can see our current CG. We're now loaded up. If I turn around, we can now see we have cargo loaded in the back. And I just love stuff like that. I love it when you can actually see the cargo you have loaded in the back there. So you see we got our 4 stacked 4 high of boxes, got our generator in there, and we have our what looks to be some sort of fuel cans back there as well, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and shut this door. Nice. And we head to the front. We probably should lock it, right? We should probably lock it. That'll be safe. Cool. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close our door, and we'll go ahead and get ready to get on out of here. Shut that. Again, very nice sound. Very nice sounds. They used, you know, real recording to the real aircraft, obviously. So sounds really nice. So it's pretty simple to start this aircraft. As you can see, it's a full 6 back here. We also do have different avionics options. So obviously I'll show you that there before we start. So go in here, we go to settings, and under settings, we have avionics, and we have options for the PMS, GTN 650 or the TDS software, GTN 650. If I click on that, it'll hot swap it real quick, and boom, it's right there. I actually will not be using the GTN 750 for this flight. We don't really need it. It's a really short VFR flight, but you can use it if you want to. But that's cool. That all works. Also, under settings, you have your failures and weather. Again, you will only see this if you have the SimPulse edition of the GA-8 Airvan. Again, that is additional purchase, by the way. But this basically gives you failure systems and things like that, which we'll talk about in the air. I'll actually show you guys some of the really cool failures that it has and things like that. And the other thing we have is other. And this basically allows you to kind of have the pre-flight enabled or disabled, have your autopilot installed or not installed, cargo visible, co-pilot, and so on. And then our flight bag is actually very basic, just our manual and our checklist in here. But I'm not going to be worrying about that in this flight. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started up. It's a very simple startup procedure. We're going to go to the top here and get our master bus 1 and 2 on. Again, you can enjoy these sounds, man. Great job on the sounds. And we'll just make sure our fuel shutoff valve, which is right here, is actually pushed in and not pulled out. And then we'll go and make sure our mixture is lean, which it is. Our prop is minimum as well. And we'll crack our throttle just a little bit. I'm going to go to the top side now. And we'll turn on fuel boost pump. This is like going to be us basically priming the engine a little bit. So fuel pump is going to be on just for a few seconds as we bring our mixture to full rich. We'll just count to 3. Why not? 3, 2, 1. Bring that back to lean. Go up to the top. We'll remove the fuel pump. That's good to go. And now all we're going to do is we're actually going to move our starter switch into start. While it's in the start, while it's cranking, we're going to slowly apply the mixture. So we'll do that now. So start. There it is. And we're now fired up. Mixture is good, and we can see our RPMs right here, and we'll kind of let it idle around 1,000 RPMs. We're going to apply some throttle until we get to around 1,000 RPMs or so. Now, again, this is a living, breathing machine, and it does actually matter what these gauges say. Let's go ahead and hide this for a second so you guys can see it. So, yeah, it actually does matter what these gauges say. What my issue with flight sim in general, and this is why I really like planes like this, is that I find myself completely ignoring all these gauges, because usually in flight sim, everything just always works. Like, nothing's ever gonna fail, nothing's ever gonna go wrong, which I guess is fine. But sometimes I kind of want a little bit of jeopardy. I kind of want a risk. I want to actually have to pay attention to this stuff. So all this stuff will change over time. So right now, you know, it's pretty cold. Our oil temperature is pretty cold, but our PSI is looking good in the green. But again, you want to pay attention to these, because if something is off, if it's in the yellow, if it's in the red, you know, it has dynamic failures. It's not just a failure system that you just, you know, queue up and just start and stop. Like, these failures can actually happen based on how you fly the plane, and that's the type of planes I like to fly personally. Anyways, let's continue with the rest of our startup. Now that our engines are fired up and our gauges are looking good, we're just gonna go ahead and make sure that our avionics are on, and we got our nav lights on, beacon light on. We got all the lights on, land light, taxi lights. So we got our pitot heat was up here. Matter of fact, all of these circuit breakers all work as well. Very in-depth electrical system in this plane. Again, just SimWorksStudios really did their thing in this. They really did. Again, it's not pretty, the plane itself. I'll talk more about that, but like, as far as the in-depth systems, if you're looking for a GA plane that has in-depth systems that you have to actually manage and are persistent over time, this plane is definitely it for sure. So we'll go ahead and get this set up and get our aircraft aligned, all that. We're squawking VFR out here, and we are basically done and ready to go. We'll get our barometric pressure set, which it is. Oh yeah, and while we're waiting for our GPS to align, we'll go ahead and make sure we have our chocks turned off, because we will not be going anywhere fast with our chocks turned on. All right, those are removed. Okay, before we go, let's go ahead and get our flight plan put in. So currently we are at a really cool airport that I just discovered called Lima Golf Lima Echo. I don't know how to pronounce it. I just know it's in Greece. If you're interested, if you like this airport out here and you like this area, I'll leave the link to the airport on Flight Sim2O in the description. It's completely free to download, so definitely check it out. And we're headed to Lima Golf Kilo Yankee. And enter. Alright, well, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and release our parking brake, which is right here. We'll go ahead and put our yoke back. Do a flight control check. I am using the Moza for a seatback yoke. Absolutely been loving it, so can't live without it anymore. I really can't. Alright, we'll go ahead and turn right here and head to the runway. Very small runway on this tiny little island. Have some throttle in. There we go. I'm starting to wonder, I hope I have enough fuel. The taxi's really nice. The ground handling is really nice. We're going to take off from this runway, make a left turn, and head towards Lima Golf Kilo Yankee, which should be towards the south. Alright, it's runway 32. And throttle full forward. We're rolling. A little rudder. There's airspeed alive. Keep on the center line with our right rudder. Nice. And she comes right off the ground, very smooth. That wind is definitely helping us climb out around 71-ish knots. Oh yeah, look at that, nice. Yeah, it flies really nice. It flies really nice. I'm gonna add some trim as we get the flaps up, and we'll pull the RPM back out of the yellow, around 25, 24. That's good. And make that left turn. Yeah, it flies really nice. It does. Very smooth. Very smooth. I do like the sounds as well. Sounds feel really good. Nice area as well to fly in. Yeah, I can't wait to show you guys some of the system failure stuff. That again, all the failures can happen dynamically based on how you actually operate the aircraft. But you could also force to turn them on as well. As you saw here in my settings, under failures, I have mine set to failures times 10, so a very high likelihood of failures. I don't know how much I'm going to fly this plane. I'm definitely going to fly it much more in 2024. I don't really fly 2020 like at all. So for that reason, I just kind of want to experience what it would feel like, you know, over a longer period of time flying the aircraft by turning up the chance for failure. It also have my dirt all the way up to 20% or 20 times as well. So I believe we're going the right direction. Looking good. We'll actually get the autopilot on while I explain a few things, but it feels good. It flies nice. I have no complaints about how it flies. Get the landing lights off. And fuel pump off, and we're good. So right around 1,700 feet. Let's try to get up to I think 25 should be plenty. Go to 2,500. There we go. We'll arm that. And then our heading bug is down here. And we'll just use heading. And we'll use that because I'm not going to go straight to the airport. I want to show a few things. I want to make sure we don't get there too early. So we'll do like 155, 160, something around there. There we go. Heading is select, heading on, and autopilot is on. Yep, AP boxed in right there. So heading is on, autopilot's on. We have that altitude armed. Yep. All right, we're up and we're level at 2,500 feet. Autopilot's taking over, and I'm actually just gonna rotate us to the left to about 90 degrees as we make it our way to our destination. But first, I want to show you some things I think are really cool about this plane, to be honest. And that is, again, the SimPulse system, the failure system here. And because, you know, there's no way for me to really show you authentically how the failures work, I'm just gonna kind of force it here. So we go to our failure system here on AFB. I can actually go in here into general and go to electrical system, and you can see we can fail all these different things. So the generator failure, battery failure, fuel flow sensor, all this stuff is fully simulated. The starter, air conditioning, lighting, instruments, avionics can be failed. Your engine block has lots of failures. Your propeller can have some failures like governor failure, propeller strike, propeller failure. We also have fuel system, engine pumps, oil system, brakes, all that can actually fail. And not just can it be failed, but again, all this stuff can dynamically over time, based on wear and tear, it can also fail dynamically as well, which I think is what's really cool. I mean, 'cause a lot of planes have, you know, forced failures, but if it actually, you know, matters how you fly, I think that's cool. So let me show you the engine block thing. Something really cool. If I go to, let's go to the next page here. I'll go to piston failure. So take a listen. All right, just turn your sound up and take a listen as I fail the different pistons. On. So not much difference there. Let's try piston 2. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but I do hear a very tiny difference about piston 3. Notice how our RPM is starting to bounce a bit more. It's a lot less stable. You can hear us misfiring. You hear that? Yeah. But also, take a look outside. So because those pistons have actually failed, we're actually now starting to see some sort of fire coming out, or smoke, I should say. I'm not sure if it's fire or not, but smoke coming out of the engine now to show that there's actually an engine failure actively happening. It's actually pretty interesting. and it's actually coming out of the pipe down there below. So again, this over time, based on wear and tear and how, you know, much you fly the plane, this could actually happen not just on purpose, but dynamically as well, which is pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure if I leave those pistons failed for long enough, something else will probably become a chain reaction and fail as well. This is pretty cool. Like, it's not just like, oh, a thing has failed, it sounds a bit different, but you can actually see, you know, smoke coming out, which I think is really, really cool. And then we have a general engine failure and fire. Now, I don't know if it'll actually cut fire, but let's just see what happens. Yep, there it is. Lost the engine. Engine's completely gone. Not getting any smoke. Prop completely cuts off. Got the red oil light now. And yeah, we've completely lost the engine. Now, I'm not going to do an emergency landing right now, so go ahead and fix that. And repair. Now, I am going to have to actually start the engine again. Come on. Start up. There we go. We're back up. But yeah, I mean, it's, again, right now I'm just kind of like prompting failures, but what I think is special, and I think I said this already, I don't want to keep hammering at this too much, but I think what's cool is that all this stuff can happen like dynamically and organically, I should say, based on how you fly. There's a few notes that I actually got from the developer that I want to share with you guys that I thought was pretty interesting, and that is this aircraft comes with a dynamic and persistent visual weathering system. The aircraft gradually accumulates dirt and mud over time, even when not in use. That's something that's pretty cool that I don't know if any other plane does, and that is like, if I don't fly this plane for like months at a time, like, and then you load the plane again, it simulates that the plane was actually sitting for months. Therefore, it will wear and tear based on just sitting like in the environment. You know what I mean? For months at a time. So it'll still continue to get more dirty. There's certain systems in the aircraft that don't like to sit a long time, and those systems will also wear as well. So like, I think that's really cool. But yeah, it's fully persistent. There's an environmental impact on the weathering as well. So the rate of dirt buildup changes depending on where you operate. So rain can naturally wash the aircraft clean. That's crazy. That really is crazy. I think our autopilot went off because our engine shut off, didn't it? No, we're good. We're good. But also, again, it's fully persistent. Your aircraft stays exactly as you left it, from the visor position to how clean or dirty it is, even after weeks away. There's also the sounds are really good as well, as you guys can hear. Here's the visor up ahead. So if I put these down when I come back and fly this plane, if I ever do, I probably will fly it on 2024, but not on 2020. So I mean, I won't see this state again, obviously. But yeah, very, very well done. As far as performance, I'm not having any issues with like you know, low FPS or stutters, nothing like that. It does come with 4 different liveries. It has the cargo pod variant and the non-cargo pod variant, passenger variant, cargo variant, as we're flying today. They're trying to make it so that it supports career mode in Microsoft 2024, so hopefully they make that happen. As you guys already saw, we have the GTNX 750 support and stuff like that. You also have the optional autopilot, which you don't have to have if you don't want autopilot. And then another really cool note from the developer was that the GA-8 Airvan is designed not just to be flown, but to be lived with. Very interesting way he said that, to be lived with. Its persistent wear and tear means every flight tells a story. Land on a muddy strip and you'll see it on the fuselage days later. The environmental effects make operations different in different climates, feel truly unique, while the full persistent system ensures your cockpit stays exactly how you left it. Pair that with a meticulously detailed model, real-world sound recordings, and pilot-approved flight model, and you have an aircraft that's both visually stunning and deeply authentic. Now, I have to disagree with the visually stunning part. Again, the GA-8 Airvan is not something you want to look at for very long, but I'm not gonna lie, it is growing on me. It is growing on me, but I mean, for this one, it's really not about the outside, it's about the systems that come with it. So I think this plane is definitely for somebody, and honestly, I don't know, I have like this fantasy, I guess, of like having an aircraft that I can kind of call my own, that I fly all over the world and kind of comes with me, and it's persistent, where like, you know, when I come back to the plane, it's how I left it, as far as how dirty it is, you know, how much oil I used, you know, the state of the engine, things like that, and I feel like this is kind of it. I wish they would have chose a different plane. I hope that they bring this technology. Let's get the autopilot off and we'll land right there. I hope they bring this technology over to like their PC-12 and their Kodiak. I love those aircraft from SimWorksStudios. Not a big fan of the GA-8 Airvan in particular, but I think it's impressive what he did, and I think he should be proud of what he did. Anyways, that's our runway right there. Let's get our autopilot off. And we're gonna probably, I guess, fly down that way towards that cruise ship over the city and land in there. Pretty cool little airport down here. Again, if you want to check this airport out, definitely do. I'll have the link to download it for free from flightsim.to. So, man, this is a pretty sweet approach. I'm gonna wrap around this mountain here. I got good eyes on the runway. It is elevated, so I don't want to lose too much altitude. Yo, Greece is so underrated, man. I do not fly out here enough. So underrated. Alright, let's get some flaps in. We will be landing with full flaps. Let's watch our altitude, don't want to lose too much. I'll trim it out a little bit as we try to line up for the runway. There we go. I believe the approach speed is around pretty close to what the climb out speed is, which is 71-ish knots. And another notch of flaps. Alright, mixture is full rich, prop is full. Alright, adding some nose down trim now because we added those flaps in. We'll see how she feels when the flaps are fully deployed and we're doing slow flight. We're a little high, so listen to the propeller as we kind of highlight the power. You can hear the propeller spinning, that loud sweeping sound. We'll do a bit of a crowd there into the wind. A little slip. We're very high. Yeah, feels good. Feels good. Alright, completely idle. We're definitely high, but we're gonna land anyways. Got plenty of runway. And we're gaining speed as we dive down. We have a crosswind from right to left. This is gonna be interesting. I'm forcing it, I know. Alright, pull up. Let's let it set itself down. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Could have been worse. Alright, standing on the brakes. We can make the exit. There we go. We made it. We made it. Yeah. Again, as I said, not a fan of the actual aircraft choice of the Airvan. But I mean, honestly, if you just stay on the inside view, or well, I'll say this: if the way it looks doesn't bother you, or you just fly from the inside view, I think it's one of the best aircraft that we have in Microsoft Flight Sim. It really is. If you have the System Pulse add-on, and again, I don't think it's worth it without the System Pulse. I think you need it. It is going to be definitely cheaper to get it without it, and that's fine if you just want the aircraft and nothing extra. But I think it's definitely more worth it with the System Pulse add-on. So let me know what you think as we stop here and shut her down. Let's set our parking brake. There we go. Got our avionics off and shut her down. Oh yeah, very nice, very nice. All right, master power off. Off. Alright, all lights are off. We can go ahead and hop out. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And if you've tried it yourself, still let me know what you think about the aircraft. Thank you, SimWorksStudio, for allowing me to preview it early. And until next time, remember you have 3 choices: give up, give in, give it all you got. Peace, love, and God bless you. I'll see you guys next time, next video. I'm out.